Well, I'm joined by former WAG and friend of Coleen Rooney, Danielle Lloyd. Danielle, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a huge day. Just give us your reaction to the verdict.
It's been absolutely mental. Like, I think for someone like myself, I was just, like, waiting for the verdict like everybody else on tender hooks. Obviously, I'm really pleased that Coleen's won. But it's just, the whole thing's just been like a pantomime. It's just been crazy.
Have you spoken to Coleen today? Has she given you her thoughts?
I haven't managed to speak to her today. I can imagine her phone's been going off the hook. But, you know, I'm just so pleased for her. I'm actually thankful that now the whole thing's over because so many people have been brought into it. It's not been nice for anyone involved.
Well, you were brought into it and it was really unpleasant for you. You were brought in quite early.
Yeah.
Do you feel that justice has been done today with this verdict? Is that the line under it?
I do. I think, obviously, Colleen's had justice and everybody else that's been involved in the trial. You know, a lot of nasty things were said about myself, a lot of traumatic things that were brought up, stuff that I wouldn't like to have remembered, really, or talked about again. So, yeah, I feel like justice has been done and hopefully now there can be a line and people can just get on with their lives.
Were you frustrated that this trial ended up going ahead? Because obviously Coleen Rooney did try to stop it. I mean, she must have talked to you about that.
Yeah, you know, I think she put out a statement saying, you know, we could give the money to charity, let's not go ahead with this. And for this to have gone on this far, I just think that there's going to be so many regrets, really do.
Some people have said that Rebekah Vardy put herself through this trial because she needed to save face, because she felt so embarrassed by what had happened. Do you think that's why?
Yeah, I think obviously she has tried to save face and it's definitely blown up and, like, bit her back, really. It's just hard. It's so hard for everyone involved. Obviously, both parties have got young children. Things have been brought up in court about both sides that I'm sure they didn't want to discuss. And I just hope for both of their sakes they can both just move on now and just forget about it. You know, if people stop talking about it, it's going to be forgot about by next week.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is the hope. But for Rebekah Vardy, I mean, she's now talking about potentially trying to appeal this decision to continue this conversation. I mean, is that where you think things should go from here?
I think she should just leave it as it is now. I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be a winner. You know, both sides have lost financially. Things have been said in court what weren't nice on both sides. So I just hope for everybody's sake it can just be dropped.
Do you feel sorry for her?
For Coleen or for
Rebekah?
For Rebekah. I feel sorry for them both, that they've both been put through this. I think, obviously, Colleen's been through a lot with, like, people selling stories on her, the leaks and stuff, and she's had a hard time for the past few years with not knowing who to trust. So, but obviously it's not nice to be trolled and have to go through all this either, so.
Yeah. You've experienced this kind of lifestyle. There are some people who say that the lifestyle of a WAG can be a really lonely one and it can cause people to focus a lot on social media. Do you think that was part of this for Rebekah Vardy?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it can be lonely being in the WAG lifestyle. It's very cliquey. And I think a lot of the messages and what we've seen in the court case, she was shown to be saying, you know, well, what is different WAGs saying about me and wanting to please other WAGs. So it was obviously she wanted to be liked.
Does it feel like you're quite isolated? It's hard for people to imagine, I think. It's certainly hard for me to imagine what it's like to see your life in the newspapers, to have no control over it and to not know whether someone's your friend or not.
Yeah, it's honestly it's like living in a bubble, I'd say, and it's not reality. Obviously, I'm away from that now and I live like a really normal life with my kids and I'm away from that sort of lifestyle and it's just far more normal and you can actually step back and think, like, thank God I'm not in that anymore.
What was it like when you were in that lifestyle? Day to day, what's a normal day like?
Just shopping every day and like literally, like, it's just not a normal life. It's all pretend. It really is. And I think for someone like Coleen, I know obviously she's really famous, but I don't think she puts herself out there in the public eye. Obviously, she is famous because she's married to Wayne. And I think they just want to live a happy, normal life with the kids.
Do you think it's a bit of a shock for some of these women, young women often, who are WAGs, because you are thrust into a media spotlight, there are expectations, there is a lifestyle that goes along with that. That must be really difficult.
Yeah, I think it is difficult, but I think you've got the choice yourself, whether you know, a lot of young WAGs these days choose to stay out of the limelight, and they're quite happy to just be the partner and be loving mums. So you do have that choice whether you want to follow the celebrity lifestyle or not.
And you think Rebekah Vardy made that choice?
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously the husbands of both women were quite involved in this trial. That must have been quite awkward for them both, having to see each other in court.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, really. It's just a shame that the whole thing's happened, and obviously they must have used to be really good friends, and it's just so hard. Like, I wish that the whole thing just never happened, like I'm sure Coleen does.
Yeah.